When ESPN says that they are the worldwide leader in sports, they really just mean football, basketball, and baseball. I mean, honestly, who the fuck even cares about soccer? ESPN, we don't cover sports, we just update you on LeBron, Tiger, Tebow, and Brett Favre's sexting scandals. Chris Berman's whoop. Aside from raising a couple of generations of sports personality cult fanboys who think they are sports guys just because they keep track of every stat from their couches, what has ESPN given the world? Actually, keeping these dudes at home and away from the rest of us for at least one day a week the entire football season might be a community service. ESPN comes from a long tradition of convincing people what they want. So they've been connected with the company that sells us cookies that are 2 discs made of dirt and filled with Oompa Loompa semen, the company that convinces us that the symbol of American ingenuity is a prepubescent mouse, and a company that argues all geological science has been disproved every time it snows. At least ESPN gives men something to talk about at the water cooler instead of anything remotely important or personal. They don't ever have to share a single emotion unrelated to the Denver Broncos.
What's the scuttlebutt?
So, let's try out a new slogan. ESPN, keeping men from having meaningful conversations since 1979. ESPN is worth more than $50 billion. It makes a lot of its money by charging astronomical fees on cable subscriptions compared to any other company out there. It gets programming by buying the rights from the NFL. So basically, this sports news organization pays its sources for the right to cover them. Why would ESPN have any interest in covering them fairly? If ESPN says something bad about the NFL, ESPN could lose money. The average person spends 7 hours a week with ESPN Media. That's more than 2 weeks of every year of your life, 5 months over the next decade. If you combine that with the amount of time you spend pooping and sleeping, that'll leave you 5 solid minutes to reflect on your life you could have lived before it's all over. ESPN tries so hard to get us to care about the Little League World Series, and I don't even care about baseball. If little referred to the size of the players as opposed to their age, maybe I'd tune in. Sports science is a pathetic attempt to legitimize ESPN's bona fides. Do we really need to know the physics of the butt fumble? Most of the ESPN hosts probably think Title IX refers to the 1975 Super Bowl. A 700-page book titled Those Guys Have All the Fun was released in 2011 that was supposed to expose the disgusting underbelly of ESPN. Unfortunately, it was mostly just a bloated historical timeline of the network with a few backstabbing sprinkled on top. As the Swami says, these anchors are rumbling, stumbling, and bumbling their lines.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Real Madrid, of course, with 10.
Hurst has been playing with a bulging disc in his neck.
Dollar civil suit. The perpetrator is alleged to have told.
Thanks, Reese. I caught up with Butch Jones.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. F***ing thing sucks.
Keith Olbermann's eyebrows. ESPN broadcaster Jim Rome is such an asshole that he incited former NBA Commissioner David Stern to ask him if he was still beating his wife. After these comments, let's hope ESPN has a good PR department.
But if there is a chink in the armor...
Is he a brother, or is he a cornball brother?
Well, at least I don't look like Tarzan and sometimes play like Jane, but other than that...
Please.
We know you have no business putting your hands on a woman. Let's make sure we don't do anything to provoke wrong actions.
Post-Eagle, Colorado, he became, it brought a little attention to him, like it gave him a little bit of sizzle.
And finally, we have ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, ESPNU, ESPN Classic, ESPN Deportes, the Longhorn Network, and SEC Network. They have 8 channels, and we still can't watch Jason Bateman on ESPN, the Ocho.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Bonus!
No, I got Tebow. He's
Tebow. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
What?